In the summer of 1944, Europe stood on the edge of total collapse. Just 25 days after Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, the fate of the Western Front was already being decided. What began on the sands of Omaha and Utah was no longer simply an invasion. It was the moment when American industrial power, manpower, and determination collided head-on with Nazi Germany's weakened defenses. As endless waves of American troops, tanks, aircraft, and supplies poured into France, the German command structure struggled to grasp the scale of what it was facing. The United States had not merely joined the war, it had transformed it. The logistical machine behind the American army operated on a level Germany could no longer match, replacing losses faster than they could be inflicted, and advancing with a relentless momentum that reshaped the battlefield day by day. Among the men watching this catastrophe unfold was Field Marshal Gerd von Rundstedt, one of Germany's most senior and experienced commanders. A decorated veteran of the First World War, von Rundstedt had spent decades in uniform. He had led German armies across Poland, France, and deep into the Soviet Union. Unlike many around him, he was a professional soldier, not a political fanatic. He understood war not as ideology, but as mathematics: men, machines, and time. In Normandy, von Rundstedt saw the truth with painful clarity. American forces were breaking through the hedgerows, supported by overwhelming air superiority and artillery fire. Every German counterattack was crushed by superior numbers and firepower. The Western Front, once believed to be defensible, was unraveling faster than Berlin could accept. He was not alone in this assessment. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, tasked with defending the Atlantic Wall, reached the same conclusion. Both men understood that the invasion had succeeded and that without immediate and radical decisions, Germany faced inevitable defeat in the West. Yet their warnings collided with a leadership increasingly detached from reality. Far from the front lines, Adolf Hitler refused to accept what his generals were reporting. From his fortified bunkers, he believed that willpower, loyalty, and rigid orders could overcome American industry and battlefield adaptability. Reinforcements were withheld, armored divisions were immobilized by centralized command, and opportunities to respond decisively were lost. In late June of 1944, during a meeting with the German High Command, von Rundstedt was asked a question that would end his career. What should Germany do next in the West? The room expected reassurance, perhaps another promise of victory through sacrifice. Instead, they received honesty. Von Rundstedt's response was brief and devastating. "Make peace, you fools." The room fell silent. In those 4 words, decades of military experience cut through months of denial. The truth had finally been spoken in a place where it was no longer welcome. Within days, von Rundstedt was dismissed from his command. Germany chose fantasy over reality. While the German leadership silenced its own commanders, American forces continued their advance. Town after town was liberated as U.S. divisions pushed deeper into France. The Western Front collapsed exactly as von Rundstedt had predicted, not because of betrayal or weakness, but because the balance of power had shifted beyond repair. By July, even elements within Germany's own officer corps attempted to assassinate Hitler, desperate to end a war they knew could no longer be won. The failed attempt on July 20th was not an act of sudden courage, but of delayed recognition. By then, American and Allied dominance in the West was already undeniable. Had von Rundstedt's warning been heeded, millions of lives might have been spared. Instead, the war dragged on for nearly another year, leaving cities in ruins and nations scarred beyond recognition. The cost of ignoring honest military assessments was paid in blood. By 1945, Germany lay in devastation. The United States, through unmatched industrial production, strategic coordination, and battlefield execution, had sealed the fate of the Third Reich in Europe. Von Rundstedt's 4 words had proven prophetic. He was not a hero, nor a rebel, but a witness to the inevitable. World War II was not decided by denial or blind loyalty. It was decided by reality. And in 1944, America was that reality.